I don't know about you, but I'm starting to get really worried about the jury on the Diddy trial. Diddy keeps making contact with them by staring at them, and 2 times he was seen looking at them and nodding his head. What does that mean? Is he staring at them to intimidate them? Or is he trying to figure out who they are so he can try to threaten or bribe them? We all know that he has people working for him on the outside. So what is he doing? The judge has given him several warnings, and they're actually considering removing him from the courtroom so the trial can continue without him. I think we should go back and take a look at his lies and the effect that he has had on people for more than 30 years. He only has himself to thank for his downfall, because Diddy forgot one thing. There's a huge difference between fear and respect. People who fear you will take the first safe chance that they get to reveal you and who you really are. People who respect you, they're gonna watch your back any day. They will protect you and your reputation. On December 28, 1991, there was an event at the City College in New York. It was a charity basketball game headlined by hip-hop stars. Diddy he helped organize this celebrity basketball game, and it resulted in 9 people losing their life. Diddy he never came forward and apologized to any of the family members. He actually said in public that the tickets, they were not sold out. He was lying.
The City College tragedy made Diddy infamous. One of Diddy's first majorly publicized scandals was the City College tragedy, where a crowd crush at an overbooked celebrity basketball game took several lives. The media descended on the hellish spectacle, thrusting cameras in the face of Diddy, the event's promoter.
This thing of somehow or another made him the most famous guy around.
How you doing, Dave?
Puffy became more known. It almost made him in a real weird way.
Diddy was hit with lawsuits and settled privately, but never faced criminal charges.
He never owned up to it, never just said, I apologize.
You know, we sold tickets, but we didn't outsell. The place wasn't sold out.
That's a blatant lie.
Those involved in the lawsuits discuss how this lack of accountability made him feel untouchable and was an early indicator of the vicious streak that would come.
And I can show you how we have fun and stay out of jail too. And make money.
Now let's talk about Topac and Biggie. Gene Deal said that Diddy was very jealous of Topac. He was copying his style. They were even wearing the same Versace shirt. Diddy was sleeping with the same women that slept with Topac. And it was also said that Kim Porter, Diddy's ex-wife, she was liking Topac a little bit too much according to Diddy. She even wore a shirt with a picture of Topac on the red carpet. Topac was unalived in a car while they were waiting at the red lights. All the bullets that hit Topac, they went through the door. Diddy was using Biggie and his talent. And when Biggie found out that Diddy was cheating and using him financially, he wanted to leave Bad Boy Records and start writing lyrics for another label. Biggie was supposed to go to London, where the press was waiting for him from all over the world. But Diddy, he pulled every string that he had to make sure that Biggie he didn't go. And he brought Biggie with him to Los Angeles. Biggie was unalived in his car in the exact same manner as Topac. He was in his car, waiting by the red lights, when all the bullets, they went through the door.
The gangster rap world has been shaken again, this time by the violent death of the performer known as Notorious B.I.G.
The rapper was rushed to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. He was pronounced dead a short time later.
The Notorious B.I.G. rapped about girls, guns, and money. His rhyming skills and flow and innovative production propelled him to worldwide fame.
3, 2, 1, go. Check it out, it's Notorious B.I.G.
Somebody got shot. Oh, Lord, for shit. Oh, they kicking. Oh, somebody got shot. Oh, yeah, that was five. Yeah, that was 5 shots fired. Oh, look at that wreck. Y'all, crank up the car, please. I'm ready to go. We have to get out here.
Am I telling the truth when I said that he literally cursed you out about that whole London trip? that they set up and told you that I don't give a shit, and he said he's not going to London, and whatever you gotta do for it not to happen, you better do it.
More along the lines of Big's not going, you figure it out. You go. Figure it out. You understand? Because I was trying to explain and break down how big of a thing this was that they did for Bad Boy. The very first time that our artists would be able to follow up. He knew that they were backing us the right way because when we launched the company, we had a big launch in Europe and London. And great thing, now the albums are coming up. We're going back to seed the soil for the success of the music and the artists.
Diddy was present at both unalivings. So tell me, do you believe that Diddy was responsible for the unaliving of Topac and Biggie? Diddy used Bad Boy Studio to sign new artists and talents. But nobody knew what was going on behind closed doors. It was children, teenagers, and adults. They went in there with hopes and dreams, and you can see by the look in their eyes that they are so excited and they can't believe that all their dreams finally came true. A lot of the people that was being mentored by Diddy, they lost the spark and the light in their eyes were gone. Their family, friends, and fans became extremely worried about their well-being. Some of these superstars, they actually lost their life. It's very scary because the people who lost their life or was very close to losing their life, they all had just one thing in common, and that was Diddy. Another detail that was very eerie and raised a lot of red flags is that if you just do a little bit digging, you're gonna see that all the people that lost their lives at a very young age, they died of one of 3 reasons. Either it was pneumonia, it was accidental drowning, or accidental substance overdose. Let's go further back and look at other celebrities that lost their life in similar ways. We hardly talk about these people anymore, but they passed away from the exact same things. Anna Nicole Smith, her husband passed away from pneumonia. Anna Nicole Smith also passed away, and her cause of death was an accidental substance overdose. Not long after her bodyguard suffered a heart attack, but thank God he survived. James Brown, he died on December 25th, 2006. And guess what? His cause of death was heart failure due to complications from pneumonia. He even told his friend and manager the same night he passed away. He told him, "I'm going away tonight." Freddie Mercury's cause of death was also pneumonia. If you do some digging yourself, you're gonna find a lot of celebrities that passed away from the exact same thing: pneumonia, accidental drowning, or accidental substance overdose. How is it possible that this didn't raise a red flag many, many years ago. There is more than 120 lawsuits against Diddy. And if he is found guilty, and if he is behind all of these SAs and unalivings, then Diddy, he's actually a serial apist. And he is also a serial iller.
You think I could book that for like the weekend of the 14th when the soundtrack comes out? If so, bump somebody. Alright, thanks. Alright, love you, man. Bye. I got my MTV album. I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get! Yes! What's next? What's next? I gotta get it. I'm not gonna stay fucking down. I'm not gonna stay fucking lying down. I'm not. I can't do that, man. I can't do that. What's next? Give me something else. What can't you do? I can do it. I can do anything.
Look like
I'm the hardest hustler in the world. This is Savage Part 2. Don't tell me about it. It's 2022 and I'm still a savage. Whatever I want, I get. Whatever I want, I get.
look like
I'm the hardest hustler in the world. This is Savage Part 2. Don't tell me about it. It's 2022 and I'm still a savage. Whatever I want, I get. Whatever I want, I get.
That's just insane. And what's even more insane is to think that he got away with it for more than 30 years. He is one of the most dangerous people in the world. But there's another thing that's just as scary. Diddy might be in prison, but his so-called unaliving or cleaning troops, they're still free and walking the streets. Maybe they're looking up witnesses or members of the jury to pay them off or threaten them to stay quiet. Whitney Houston. She had a fight with Clive Davis 2 days before she passed away. The same day she passed, she crashed an interview with Clive Davis, Monica and Brandy. She tells them that she almost drowned, and then she passed a note to Brandy. Brandy never revealed what the note said. Whitney Houston was in her hotel room with her assistant and someone else. There's alcohol there and it looks like there's been more people present. The assistant had to run an errand and she wasn't gone for long. When she came back, Whitney was found deceased in the bathtub. She had chipped nails. She had bruises all over her body. Ray J is seen running out of the back door of the hotel, hiding his face, and he was picked up by a car. He drove to Brandy's birthday party, and I want you to pay attention to his right hand. His right hand looks like it's really, really bruised. So where did all the bruises come from on his fists? Why does Whitney Houston have bruises all over her body? Then we have Bobby Christina, Whitney Houston's daughter. She was also found in a bathtub. They said the cause of death was pneumonia. 3 years later, Max Lomas, the friend that found Bobby Christina in the bathtub, he was found deceased in a bathroom with a syringe near his body. Did he unalive himself? Then Bobby Christina's boyfriend, Nick Gordon, is found 2 years later in a hotel room, deceased. His cause of death was accidental substance overdose. Tell me again that this is a coincidence. Then we have Kim Porter, Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the mother of his children. Even though they hadn't been together since 2007, Diddy was still stalking her, controlling her. He was tapping her phone. He had people following her at all times. And he was still assaulting her. But Kim, she fought back and she attacked him with a corkscrew and she actually cut his wrists. She told people that she was scared and she even told Al B. Shore to watch his back. On October 30th, 2018, it was said that Kim Porter was very ill. She had symptoms of the flu, but she still decided to go celebrate the premiere of her son's Netflix movie called The Holiday Calendar. When you look at her at the event and listen to her interview, she didn't look unwell at all. She looks amazing. She looks so happy.
I'm so proud. I'm like the proud mother. Yes, do you see my smile? Jeez.
Yes, we see that beautiful smile. Model Kim Porter stepped out in Los Angeles on Monday night to support her son, Quincy Brown, who is the star of Jamal Hill's new film, Brotherly Love.
I'm more than proud because Quincy, he's been working very hard and he's been so focused, and it's paying off for him. His father is, I'll be sure, he was smooth. I'm his mother, extra smooth, and Puff is his dad. So he gets it honestly.
Allegedly, Kim was fine the day before and the day of her death, and then now she found in the bed dead from pneumonia. That just don't sound right, bro. That don't sound right at all.
So you feel the same way about her death being suspect?
I don't think nobody in America think it's nothing suspicious about Kim's death, bro. If you are rich like that, you could, Kim had, I think a network of like, 12 million a year or something like that. Kim could have called any doctor to come over and look at her. If she was that bad, she could have called an ambulance or something like that. Everything is suspicious about her death, bro. And I don't think an autopsy was done on her. And if it was a half-assed job.
You personally, right? What do you think happened to Kim Porter?
If I say something personal, bro, and my belief, and I put it on to the public, then I might be liable. You understand what I'm saying? I might be liable for what I say. So I just can't say that, I don't really want to say what I really believe, brother. Because, what I really believe is that they might got into a little spat, a little fight, or something went down, and Puff did that play fighting stuff that he always do, and that pillow fighting stuff, and probably smothered her. But I wouldn't say that on the air. I wouldn't let people know that he probably smothered her to death, and because she had a bad cold or she felt some kind of way that she died doing them having that play fight with the pillow fights and everything and smothered her. But I'm not going to say nothing like that on the program because I don't want to get myself in trouble. As far as saying that with him and say, oh, he said this and he said that. Nah, I'm just being facetious. I'm just being sarcastic that if, in those type of realms and those type of things, because I'm never going to say that he probably smothered her to death. I wouldn't do that. You know what I mean?
But just 2 weeks later, Kim Porter was found deceased in her home. The cause of death was first allegedly ruled a homicide, but it was later changed to pneumonia. Albie Shore, Kim's ex-husband, he started speaking out loud and in public as well. He never believed that his ex-wife, Kim Porter, passed away due to pneumonia. He believes that she was poisoned. A few years after Kim Porter, she passed away, Albie Shore collapsed and his organs, they were shutting down. He was in a coma for 2 months, and the doctors, they actually didn't think that he was gonna make it. It was very serious. Albie Shore and the doctors, they were fighting to save his life, and thank God that they succeeded. To this day, Albie Shore believes that Diddy he poisoned him to keep him quiet. Then we have Brittany Murphy. She also wasn't feeling well for a while. She collapsed in her bathroom and she passed away as well. Her cause of death was pneumonia. And 5 months later, her husband, Simon Monjack, he was also starting to feel unwell. He is found deceased in the master bedroom in their house. And guess what the cause of death was? Pneumonia. Then we have Aaron Carter. He was in and out of rehab, but in the last interview he did, he actually looked pretty well, and he claimed that he was clean now. But he was still convinced that someone was after him. Someone wanted to unalive him. On November 5th, 2022, Aaron was found deceased in his bathtub. It was ruled an accidental drowning after Aaron had inhaled compressed gas, and they also found Xanax in his system. I took a look at the scene where he was found, and I actually tried to reach out to Aaron Carter's mother, because this scene, to me, it's a crime scene because it doesn't make sense to me at all. Aaron's mother, she released some pictures that was taken in Aaron Carter's bathroom where he was found. I looked at those pictures over and over and over, trying to make it make sense. When you look at the bathroom where Aaron Carter was found, it doesn't seem to add up, at least not for me. His flip-flops are on the floor outside the bathroom, but the position of the flip-flops looks a bit strange to me. It almost looks like someone placed them there. Inside the bathroom, you see black socks lying on the floor. Who would wear socks in that kind of shoes? That would be very uncomfortable. His pants are on the floor, and it looks like he relieved himself before he got into the bathtub. And that's a bit strange because that usually happens when people, they pass away. So that would indicate that Aaron, he passed away before he entered the bathtub. You also see towels that was laid out perfectly on the floor. Could Aaron have done that himself before he allegedly took Xanax and inhaled compressed gas? Yes, that is possible. But I have a problem with the towels. Because after he was found deceased, the housekeeper Betty said that she pulled him out of the bathtub and she performed CPR on him. But the towels, they still look perfect. They don't look messy. It does look like the red and white towel had been shoved by something that looks like 2 feet or 2 knees. And you also see something on the red and white towel that looks like vomit. And the other towel, the white towel, it looks like someone also shoved that one with a foot or with 1 knee. Another thing that really bothers me is that normally people would lay out a towel in front of a bathtub, because then when they step out, the floor won't be wet and they're not gonna slip and fall on the floor. But here you see 2 towels that was laid out, and they're not laid out in front of the bathtub. Another thing that's bothering me is that if those towels were laid out before he entered the bathtub, why is the fluid from his pants under the towels, and it looks like the fluids, they're soaking through the towel. They're not on the top. If Betty pulled him out of the water, why is there a hoodie on the towel that looks dry on the surface but wet underneath? There's no fluids on the floor from where his pants were laying and to the bathtub. There's no footprints. There's no finger marks. Actually, the outside and the top of the bathtub looks very clean. But the inside of the bathtub looks like Aaron was decomposing. It's completely green, but why is there no green water on the top of the bathtub? There's no green water on the side of the bathtub and nothing to see on the floor. It almost looks like someone was cleaning up. I also wonder if the vomit on the towel is Betty's or Aaron's. But again, how could it be Aaron's if he was already deceased? We also have to talk about Prince. Prince rented out one of his houses to Diddy, where he would throw one of his white parties. Allegedly, Prince's security systems caught everything from that night on video. It was said that Prince told Diddy afterwards that whatever was going on at the party, it had to stop. And Diddy told Prince that if he wanted to stay in the music business, he should stay quiet. On April 21st, 2016, Prince, he collapsed in his home and he passed away. He was 57 years old. Prince had the flu symptoms and pneumonia, but the cause of death was ruled a fentanyl overdose. Prince lived a very clean life. He was a vegetarian. He didn't smoke. He didn't drink. He didn't use any substances. He was a very clean person. He was loved and adored by a lot of people. He was so gentle and he was so kind, and it still doesn't make sense to anyone why Prince would lose his life.
Music. I concur.
And only one thing.
Only one thing. What's the big Prince dish?
Omelets.
What was it that you were listening to in music today that made you say, I've got to put some more stuff out there? You have to do this.
Mainly I sensed a great deal of negativity and entropy in the music. There's a disintegration going on that we really have to address. And our values have been lessened to a great degree. VH1's been pretty cool. They don't show too much craziness on their channel, but other Viacom channels do. So I think that we should address this as a community as to what it's doing to the culture. People can say all they want to, that there's no reason for these kids to listen to music and then go shoot somebody. But, there's something that's triggering these buttons.
Do you feel responsible as an artist
Very
for
much so.
what you're putting? Do you think that other people do?
No, I don't.
You talk about music that's going out there right now. Are you talking about any particular type of music that you don't think is such a positive influence?
Well, it's very obvious when you hear words and lyrics, whether they enlighten or discourage.
Okay, so hip-hop gets slammed a lot. Marilyn Manson gets slammed. Korn gets slammed. A lot of those acts that are, out there putting... Is that what we're talking about?
It's not what I'm talking about.
No?
I'm just talking about the truth.
Just general?
Yeah. The truth is that you either are here to enlighten or discourage.
That's right. Hey, Prince, could you just say, Sherry, I love you?
Sherry, I love you. Breakfast yet, so.
Can I have your gloves? Can I have your gloves? You don't understand, Prince. I have wanted to make love to you for my whole life. I'm sorry.
You're scared.
Diddy was actually very, very clever, and he knew how to stay out of trouble. When he wanted things done that was either very crazy or illegal, he would have other people do it for him. Just the example with the freak-off where Cassie ordered the male escort. She arranged everything with the male escort, and she even paid him as well. But it was Diddy that told her to order him. It was Diddy that gave her the money to pay him. It was Diddy that set up everything. He just told Cassie to do it for him. Because if there was any legal trouble, it would look like it was Cassie that wanted the freak-offs. It was Cassie that wanted to have sex with other people in front of Diddy. This man is very, very clever, and he's covering himself legally all the way around by having other people doing his dirty deeds. But I hope that the jury will see through everything, and I hope that Diddy, he's gonna pay for this. This also reminds me of when Kid Cudi, he was testifying. Cassie, she warned him several times because Diddy, he had been making threats about blowing up his car. Not long after, Kid Cudi received a phone call, and he was being told that the Porsche that was parked in his driveway, it was on fire. He already knew who did it, so Kid Cudi, he requested a meeting with Diddy. When he arrived and walked into the room, Diddy was standing with his back to him and just looking out the window, and he was very, very calm, which to me is even more scary than him being angry. But the conversation between them started, and Kid Cudi said that Diddy kept offering him water. And that completely freaked me out, because why would Diddy keep asking him if he wanted water? I think Diddy planned to drug Kid Cudi, and if he had succeeded, I cannot even imagine what he would have done to him. Would he have been SAing him as well and recorded it so he could blackmail him? Would he make him go missing? Or would they have unalived him? I don't know, staging an accidental drowning or accidental substance overdose. What do you think? Do you think Diddy kept offering him water because there were substances inside that would make Kid Cudi pass out?
I know how this world works. After working in the industry, I converted my business to combat human trafficking. His views skewed when it comes to sexual activity. I believe it's helped turn him into a sexual deviant. I've had FBI come to my house before and tell me they found a threat against my life. somebody didn't want me to do this interview. This is a dangerous game people are playing, and some people deserve retribution.
You clearly feel that Sean Combs made people disappear.
I know this situation is dangerous. I've had several attempts on my life throughout my career.
Other people say that Diddy was a Fed himself, that he was on their payroll. Do you think that's a possibility?
If there's smoke, there's fire, Pierce. I've very rarely seen any straight dudes in this industry, man. All bisexual weirdos. I don't want to be the only straight man at the party.
And what would you like to happen to him?
I'll say this.
The opening days of Diddy's trial in Manhattan have been gripping, lurid, shocking, and revelatory. It's everything we should have expected from a federal case against a mogul and megastar who stands accused of sex trafficking, racketeering, and conspiracy. My next guest has been watching these week's proceedings with a particular and personal interest. Big Homie CC is a celebrity bodyguard and security entrepreneur, and he joins me now. Big Homie, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Hello, Pierce. How are you today?
Yeah, good, thank you. We're 2 days into this case against Diddy. What is your gut feeling about what's going to happen here?
Well, my gut feeling on what's going to take place is, well, we're going to see a lot of strange things take place due to the fact that I know how this world works. After working in the industry, I converted my business to combat human trafficking. Last year, my team brought home 17 people, 4 children, 1 boy. And whenever these trials come about, the closer you get to the trial date, a lot of things start happening to remove people from the case that are going to strengthen the case for the prosecution. And I feel like we're watching that take place now with one of the male sex worker guys who provided tapes to the feds. He's disappeared. And this is similar to what happened in the Tory Lanez case, where the bodyguard whose DNA was on the weapon, he disappeared. So I expect to see a lot of strange things take place. I expect to see the defense team do a lot of steps to lighten the image of Combs. And we've been watching that take place.
From what you know about him, Sean Combs, obviously the perception of it has changed dramatically since these allegations were made and since he got charged. I mean, from everything we're seeing now, he seems a very unpleasant, nasty, violent piece of work. Is that a correct assessment?
The assessment is going to be correct. So what I've learned is whenever you see a gentleman like this from affluence and power, whenever they have an addiction to MDMA or the drug ecstasy, they call it the love drug. So he's been doing this drug for over 20 years. So that's going to lead his views skewed when it comes to sexual activity. I believe it's helped turn him into a sexual deviant. And, you know, what type of man wants to see another man urinate in his wife's mouth? I feel like it's evil. I think his behavior is egregious. And, you know, I have a history of using very heinous acts on people like this who participate in this type of lascivious acts.
As we're talking, Cassie Ventura, who was his longtime girlfriend, is one of the 2 people who the feds have brought this case with. She says that Combs would bash on my head, knock me over, drag me, kick me. Asked how often, she replied, too frequently. She says she didn't want to participate in the freak-offs, as he called them, but she did so because she loved him very much and wanted to make him happy. She told the jury she was scared of what he would do if she said no. Physical violence from Combs, she said, was always on the back of her mind. He wanted to control every aspect of her life, from how she looked to her work. And when he couldn't reach her immediately, he and his employees would call her incessantly or come and find her in person. So she's building a picture of a violent control freak. Is that a picture that you recognize of what you know about this?
Right. So definitely these are traits that I recognize. In the field that I work in, whenever we get a call for a retrieval and a family is concerned about a loved one, those same characteristics that this woman listed is the same things that streetwalkers will list about their boyfriend, which is actually their pimp and panderer. That's why I have an affinity for people who are survivors of this type of nonsense and oppression. And this sounds familiar. You know, along this path, I've been poisoned 3 times. My toxicology report showed cyanide. And, you know, cyanide metabolizes into pneumonia in your body. So I've had pneumonia on 3 occasions. You know, and these problems didn't start for me until I started to speak out about people like this. You know, it's been a hard time to line up this interview because the last time I was scheduled to be in this interview, randomly, our car gets hit from the side by a blacked out vehicle, no license plate. That's happened 3 times this month so far.
Really?
Somebody didn't want me to do this interview. Yeah, somebody didn't want me to do this interview. You know, I'm somebody where I've had FBI come to my house before and tell me they found a threat against my life. So, you know, I'm well versed in this world. But you know, I got round the clock security. One of them was sitting right here with me right now. This is a dangerous game people are playing, and it's a good feeling for me to see the justice system prevail. And some people deserve retribution.
You clearly feel that Sean Combs over the years has made people disappear.
Right. Well, Pierce, let me ask you a question. From your journalistic perspective, have you ever noticed how in this industry, people untimely meet their demise as soon as somebody else seems like they're having a problem? Have you ever seen that before?
Well, there was, of course, the case of one of his other ex-girlfriends, Kim Porter, who died of pneumonia at a very young age. You just referenced your own situation with pneumonia that you believe was deliberate poisoning. Do you believe that may be what happened to her?
Why are so many people coming down with pneumonia? Why is that happening to everybody? What is that about? Where have you ever seen this many cases of pneumonia associated with one situation? So, you know.
The trial is still ongoing, and some people say that he's gonna walk out of there a free man. But others, they say he's gonna get life in prison. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Do you think he's gonna be a free man? Or do you think he's gonna stay the rest of his life in prison?